And that's about it. No, I would tell you that the typical first game. I thought early on the first 5 or 6 minutes, we were a little jumpy. We took a couple quick shots, a couple turnovers through charges. But I thought after that, our guys settled down on the offensive end. Defensively, I thought we were pretty good until the last 5-6 minutes. Fatigue, playing a little wild lineups with a lot of big guys out on the floor. But, we got to learn to finish games better. But, they're going to come fast and furious, these games. Obviously, we have a big game on Friday against Seton Hall. And so we got to put this one to rest. And we'll talk about it a little bit with our team tonight and then turn the page and start talking about Seton Hall on Friday.
Chris, you mentioned obviously turning the page quick, but it hasn't been quick to get here. 263 days in between your last game and now, just the feeling of being back out there for you and for the guys.
Yeah, I mean, it felt great. I'd be lying if I said it felt the same. I think it's going to be strange for a little while. I heard an NFL broadcast the other day, and they were talking about how the head coaches and players said it's just very different to play in an empty stadium. The concentration lapses and the ability to stay focused all the way through when there's nobody in the stands and hearing everything that's said on the floor. It's just different. But it felt great nevertheless. It was good to see our guys get to play against someone different. Heck, they've been doing workouts, Jody, since June. 1-on-1, 3-on-3. I know they're sick of playing against one another, and quite honestly, I'm sick of watching them get hurt against one another.
We've heard a lot about Carlik in the preseason. Those people that saw him last year, they know he's a good player. But for his first game to come out with an opener like that, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and only 1 turnover, he really played well in the opening game.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we've come to expect. I don't know what the numbers will be each and every game. There's going to be certain games where teams really, try to take him away, deny his touches. He'll have to work a lot harder than he did tonight. But, he has a really good poise about him, and he can create his own shot and shots for other players at any point in time. And, we just got to be able to try to make sure that not only Carlik, but our entire roster is able to play these 5 games in such a short period of time. And that's why we're trying to get him out there in the second half. But, as has been reported, he's going to be one of our best players, if not our best player.
You mentioned it many times. No exhibitions, no scrimmages, no secret scrimmages. Defensively, it probably puts you a little bit behind when you're going against yourself all the time. What did you think as a starting point today defensively for your team?
Well, I thought Mike Pegues did a great job, Jody, of scouting an opponent that we hadn't seen all year. The last time we saw him was in the Missouri Valley tournament, and then obviously some conference games from a year ago. And much like us, they lost their top 5 scorers. Felt like Coach Licklider would come out and run a lot of the similar action, so we prepared for that here over the last 2 or 3 days. And I thought early on, we weren't communicating our switches well enough. We did not want to give Coleman wide open threes. And then I thought as the first half wore on, we did a much better job of communicating switches. We carried that over to the beginning of the second half. And like I said, last 6 minutes, I'm not really excited about how we played defensively.
Can you just speak on the J.J. Traynor, Dre Davis, first time in the Yum Center with some fans, their first time with the lights on, and both guys actually fared very well in their performance tonight?
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for those two. Number one, I feel bad for them because, as we know, that's not what the Yum Center on opening night it normally looks like. And let's cross our fingers that a year from now, when those two are sophomores, we're going to have a much greater experience for them. But how they've worked and acclimated themselves as freshmen, as teammates, as understanding the game, I have a lot of confidence in both of them. A lot of confidence. Now they're going to face stiffer tests as we move forward, starting on Friday. But, Dre just is very, very solid. Seems like every kid I get from Indianapolis really knows how to play the game. And if JJ was 20 pounds heavier and stronger, he'd be one of the better players in our conference in the front court. But, for him to not miss a shot. He's an ideal man for a guy like Carleek and Dave for lobs on pick and roll. He runs the floor. Great finisher around the basket. And when he gets stronger, Jody, he's even going to get better. So really, really happy with both of those guys. They're a big part of our team already as freshmen.
With that, we'll go to questions first from Tim Sullivan and then to Shannon. Tim, you're muted. Still muted.
A lot of people would be excited about that, Tim.
Their check. I'll give him just a moment here. There we go. I think I can hear you, maybe. No. Shannon's trying to help him, or we'd go to Shannon. Yeah, still don't have you. I'm sorry.
Always tough not being able to answer those questions from Tim Sullivan.
All right, Shannon, we'll go to you.
Hey, Coach. Today wasn't really David Johnson's day, but when he's racking up some of those fouls, is there something he could be doing differently to protect himself and not get into that foul trouble?
Yeah, and I talked to David, just a few moments ago, Shannon, in the locker room about just that. His first foul, he gets a charge, right? The second foul, he ends up guys on the sideline, in the deep corner, and all he's trying to do is dribble the ball out and restart the offense. He's not really threatening our defense. He's not trying to score. He's not trying to free up a teammate with his dribble. He's just trying to dribble it out and throw it to the top of the key and get offense running. Dave's got to have better awareness of that situation, a lot of awareness. And number one, you're one of our few guards right now that are healthy. We need you in the game. To take yourself out with 2 fouls. And we were still going to play him in the first half like we did with 2. But you shouldn't even be in that position. You shouldn't be bumping a guy who's dribbling up the sideline just to throw the ball back out top. Third foul is a tough one because Dre Davis communicated the switch out to Dave. And when he did that, he pushed Dave out there to try to get to the shooter and push Dave into the shooter. So it's a little bit of Murphy's Law on that one. But hey, Dave's got to play better. There are going to be times every guy on our team is going to have 2 fouls. They're going to go to the bench. There's going to be a lot of time left in the first half. And how attuned are they to the game? Can they keep their head in the game? Can they come back in and seamlessly do what they need to do on both ends of the floor and us not feel like this guy's lost for the game or he's out of it mentally? And I don't think Dave did a very good job of that. I think he got back in and pressed a little bit in the second half. He didn't play very well. He turned the ball over. I thought he started the second half a little better. But we've come to expect a lot more out of Dave. He's been so much better in practice. So I don't have a concern. But, yeah, would I have liked him not to, commit some of those fouls? Absolutely. And then despite him committing them, I still think he should have played better and kept his head in the game and been more of a positive when he got back in the game, especially in the second half when he started the half with 3 fouls.
Coach, relaying this question to you, with numerous schools playing without spectators, are you encouraged that this model can work, and may it lead to larger crowds in time?
Yeah, I sure hope so. Here's the thing. Our season's going to stretch out until, March, April. Obviously, April's, what we all wish for. But, with the vaccine going to essential workers here in the beginning of December in some places, let's hope that, over time, maybe some of the rules get relaxed, maybe some of the lockdown, the restrictions that are, being put in place both here in Kentucky, Ohio, different states around the country, that, if the curve sort of flattens a little bit, maybe we go back to, what we looked like before. So, and I'm talking about 2-3 months ago. But, we're in the winter. I'm so sick of the phrase uncharted territory, but that's where we're at.
We'll go to Matt McGavick.
Hey, Coach. Sam Williamson had a pretty strong game, particularly in the second half. One, talk a little bit about his performance, and 2, how healthy was he going into this game? I know he's been dealing with an aggravated patella tendon.
Yeah, Sam's practiced the last week and a half or so, and, no restrictions. He hasn't come out of certain drills. He's really trying to get his wind back. And, like I said, I think not just a Sam issue, but really a team issue the first 3, 4, 5 minutes, feeling out process of being on the game floor for the very first time against an opponent that you think you know what they're going to do, but we have no film on their team this year. So I thought once he got his legs under him, the game sort of rolled out. He played much better as time went on, played a lot more poised. He's got to cut down on his turnovers. Half of them were charges. And again, when you charge, you're usually sped up, whether you're in the post or on the perimeter. And again, as a sophomore, I'd like to think that Sam will be a lot more composed as time goes on. He played well tonight.
Do we have other questions for Coach? We'll take 2 more. All right, Shannon.
Speaking of charges, I'm hearing myself on echo here with Tim next to me, but Carleek Jones tried to take a charge earlier in the game and nothing was called, and then he later did take a charge that it did call. Can you just speak to what that is, something you guys want to do and how that affects the game?
Yeah, I mean, I think your better defensive teams punish people when they drive the ball to the basket. I'm disappointed that we didn't have more, Shannon, because I thought we were getting beat, especially in the second half, off the dribble a little bit too much. But, Carleek is not afraid, and to take a charge, to step in and do what he did in the end of the first half. We need more guys to do that. I think Dave took one, and again, 2 of our primary playmakers sacrificing their body. We need more guys to get in position. We should be a team that's trying to get 4 or 5 charges a game. And so it's a small start, but it's an expectation in our program and something that we're really going to continue to focus on trying to get and earn during games.
We'll go back to Matt.
Hey, Coach, I know after one game it's kind of hard to get a feel for the position, but after one game, what's your overall thoughts on the center position between Withers, Wisnitzer, and Nick Ahon?
Yeah, well, we have 4 guys that are playing the 5. I thought the best of all 4 of them tonight was J.J. Traynor. I thought he was really active. I thought he communicated his switches out. I think he only got beat off the dribble by their point guard one time on a switch. He'll get better with experience. And so I thought he did a terrific job. Heads and tails above those other guys. Heads and shoulders, I should say. Jalen, he relaxes too much right now for me to get excited and compliment him on here. He's got to be way better for us. I realize this is his first collegiate game, so I have to cut him some slack. But I've watched him now for a year, and he has all the tools. But, the world's full of people that have tools that don't use them. And it's my job to get him to understand he needs to use them. And he needs to be a heck of a lot better on both ends of the floor and not relax when his man gives the ball up. Aiden and Gabe are behind a little bit. I thought Aiden did some good things, and Gabe did as well. But their action was obviously limited in comparison to both Jalen and JJ.
Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
We will have Samuel Williamson and Carleek Jones shortly. Thank you.